I am very pleased to welcome and introduce you to Dr. Ranju.
Thank you for the warm-up, by the way. Yeah, because I have a sense of who you are, and it's wonderful to meet some of the people that this is my third time here. And I feel like an oldie, but it's good to be with other oldies. Well, I would maybe say mature people. I was just mentioning to someone that it's for me refreshing to come to my own peers, because I find that as I go out and speak, especially among 20 and 30-year-olds, they never heard of people that I knew, and they don't know anything about the wars or anything. And it's a complete generational gap that exists out there. When Adrienne called me and asked me to do a program on resiliency, and she said no one has ever done one, I said, well, I think I'd like to talk about it because I address some of this in my new book on significance. And I think resiliency is important because of the fact that people are finding it very difficult to deal with the challenges that are happening, and even the disasters. People are moving into a fear mode rather than offensive mode in dealing with life. And what is incredible, I know that people, I think Jane said about, it's easy to talk about the disasters and everything else, but I want to tell you, there's a renaissance occurring right now, an incredible renaissance. 2 weeks ago, I attended the Philharmonic at the Siegerstrom Hall, and Eisenbach from Germany was leading, and he is someone who's been very extraordinary in terms of now bringing a whole generation of protégés in the music world. There's not only new music, but he created an orchestra that no one was older than 27 years old. And this orchestra was incredible. It was actually, they did Beethoven's Seventh. And what he's done is he's finding these people, these young people from all over the world. And there are groups of people that are creating a renaissance that are very ecologically driven, and creating really a green revolution. You read about them in the magazines. Forbes actually had an article, Smithsonian had an article about the 20 young people that are really changing the world, finding new solutions in feeding people, in doing things differently. What I like to do is, in my books, the first one was about the inside edge, and it was about really that you have an edge on things when you find the solution within yourself. We're used to fix things, we're used to fixing things, and we always think that we have to do things externally. And I think my work is really to show people that you are the transformers. You don't have to wait for the transformers outside, and you are the person that can also create your own renaissance. But that means you have to sort of work outside of the box, but also inside the box, because you are the box. And so I would like to not talk about resiliency, but actually show you the importance of where resiliency really lies. It really lies within yourself, because when you think about people who are resilient, they are people who, no matter what happens, they bounce back. Because that's what resiliency, it's your capacity to recover or to adjust when there are changes or when there are catastrophes. And I see people fighting to hold on to certain ideas and things, and they are not very resilient because they're not flexible. They don't know how to go with the flow. Matter of fact, the worst situation when I work with companies is a lot of times companies are in such denial, they don't want to see the flow. But if they just all of a sudden say, well, things have changed, we now need to talk to clients, we need to reconnect in a different way, then you are establishing a sense of resiliency from the inside out. because what you're now doing is you're realizing change is happening. It is happening. It is, if you do not change, you can easily become a dinosaur. And I believe the reason why you're all here is you don't want to be dinosaurs. And so what I want to do is I'm going to do something, I'm going to show you something that I have worked and developed all my life, and that I'm sort of bringing it into a training program, and I'm developing an institute now that's international. And it's about having everyone discover that they are significant. All of you have a significant factor, but you're not aware of it. But you might be aware of it because you have read the books, like Blink and Malcolm Caldwell's books, and books on emotional intelligence. But I'm saying in this moment, you can create a transformation that makes you shift into a different perspective, because that's what's really important. And the perspective is not adopting a new ideology or finding a trendy game plan to fight the recession or the terrorists or whatever you want to name that threatens you. But what is important to find resiliency is to find your significance, to maintain your center, and to find that center that you have is far more powerful than anything that anyone can really give you. Example of this was actually in 1993. It's interesting, I can tell you this because all of you probably experienced it. In 1993, do you know what catastrophe occurred here?
World Trade Center.
1993? Fire. The big Laguna fire. You don't remember that? Oh my God, there was about 900 homes were burned, and acreage. I remember standing over here. You could see the horizon, the flames. Have you seen the smokes and the ridges that were on fire? And I remember one thing that stands in my mind is that the NBC was going around to people, and they were up interviewing people who lost their homes, and I mean everything. And so they came up to one homeowner and they said, well, what's happening? And they said, oh, we lost everything. We lost our pictures. We lost our dog. We lost everything. And it was just a woe, me, we don't know what we're going to do, and blah, blah, blah. And they were just really depressed because of it was just overwhelming what happened just in one day. Then the commentator went to the neighbor and interviewed them, and they were joyful. And this couple was probably our age, and you say, this is a wonderful opportunity. Do you know what we can do with our insurance money? Now that we got rid of all the pictures and all the accumulations and all the stuff, we can travel, we can go back, reclaim our passion of what we had started when we got married, and we can come home and build a smaller home. We can completely redefine ourselves. Now, why is it same neighbors, same loss, but why were they resilient? Because their framework of their identity was in themselves. It wasn't with what they own. It wasn't with having certain things. It was having themselves and having a value system that allowed them to be in their own center.